Why I started this company and the program I teach is because as a teacher of 26 years, 24 at my current school, I started noticing a new kind of parenting that emerged in the last so many years of loving, well-intended parents providing everything for their kids, but their kids' behavior seemed to get worse and worse. When I'd meet with the parents and talk, I'd usually find that these parents were trying to do the opposite with their kids than how they were raised, turning their backs completely on anything that sounded like rules, consequences, respect, expectations. And I applaud their determination to not repeat the ways of bad parenting. But I couldn't help but notice a blind spot that in their efforts to not repeat bad parenting from the past, they were unintentionally creating a new set of issues. Kids with bad behavior, anxiety related to not having boundaries, a lack of empathy, respect, emotional regulation, and relational skills. Sometimes in parenting groups, I see parents comment, well, I'm being gentle and peaceful and respectful to my kids, but they're treating me horribly. Well, something is off there. So don't repeat bad parenting from the past. But also, don't be so scared to repeat these patterns from the past that you overcorrect so much to the point that you have blind spots that aren't serving your kids well. Here's a related analogy. It's like if you remove all salt from your diet because of a health issue, when actually a small amount is actually needed and helpful. In general, past parenting has caused a generation of people pleasers who feel overly responsible for the feelings of others. So, parents today want to never have their kids see how anything they do affects their feelings, but watch out for absolutes. We want a balance. Just because the last generation of parenting created overly empathetic people who feel overly responsible for the feelings of others doesn't mean that now we should aim for zero empathy building in our kids. We don't want to raise out of control kids who lack a good foundation for their character development, which leads to destructive behavior and anxiety in them, all to avoid repeating any kind of parenting that was reminiscent of past bad experiences. So watch out for thinking similar to, my parents didn't let me do anything, and that was so hard for me. So for my kids, I'm going to let them do everything. Or, my parents always said no to me, so when I raise kids, I'll never say no. Or, my parents didn't do much for me, and that hurt me so much. So now I will do everything for my kids. This type of overcorrection or reversed parenting may be satisfying to your inner child who longed for that. But if your kids are growing to be entitled, disrespectful, rude, then we need to reestablish balance in your approach. So, even though at times I may instruct strategies that are slightly reminiscent of the past, the nuances I teach are critically important to note. The tone and coming from believing the best about your kids is what makes these strategies constructive rather than unhealthy. So, my approach is not, "Yo, kids are so messy. Can't you see how hard I work to clean this floor? Look at this mess." This speaks negative identity into kids, making them feel bad about themselves and incapable. My approach is, guys, can you come here for a second? You were so sweet at dinner talking about all the things you did at school today. I loved hearing it, but hey, I just wanted to show you what the floor looks like after dinner. Do you see that? I'm not sure if you realize it, but I crawl on my hands and knees to pick up all this stuff, and it's kind of hard for me. So that's why I ask you to please eat over your plates. So, do you think tomorrow you could try harder to eat over your plates, please? Thank you. So, I have kids deal with their actions, but not in a way that makes them feel bad. It's weird if your kids are disrespecting you so badly and you just keep allowing them to and give them more respect than they give you.